أياما كلما نودي أجابا ومن بجلاله ينسي سحابا
وكلم في دجى موسى بلطفه كلام ثم علام إتوبا أياما رد يوسف بعد بعدي وكان أبوه طيب التهابا أياما خاص أحمد واصطفاه وآتاه رسالة والكتابة
وقربه وسمه حبيبا وأعتق من شفاعته رقابا.
Welcome you all to the annual lecture hosted by the Shooting Star of Islam 1942. We cannot but thank the Almighty Allah for preserving our lives from the time we held the lecture last year to today, and for giving us the grace, in spite of the heavy rain in Lagos, to be present at this lecture. We do hope you all have fulfilling the listening to the lecture. To start off, we'll have recitation from the Holy Quran, and I'd like to invite Fawad Sanusi and Mustafa Ainde, who are students of Ansarudin Grammar School, Rando, our usual reciters, to come and please give us reading from the Holy Quran. Just mention the verse.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تقدموا بين يدي الله ورسوله واتقوا الله إن الله سميع عليم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا ترفعوا أصواتكم فوق صوت النبي ولا تجهروا له بالقول كجهر بعضكم لبعض أن تحبط أعمالكم وأنتم لا تشعرون. إن الذين يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله أولئك الذين أمتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. إن الذين ينادونك من وراء الحجرات أكثرهم لا يعقلون. ولو أنهم صبروا حتى تخرج إليهم لكان خيرا لهم والله غفور رحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءتكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. واعلموا أن فيكم رسول الله لو يطيعكم في كثير من الأمر لعنتم ولكن الله حبب إليكم الإيمان وزينه في قلوبكم وكره إليكم الكفر والفسوق والعصيان أولئك هم الراشدون فضلا من الله ونعمة والله عليم حكيم صدق الله العظيم.
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful, O ye who believe, be not forward in the presence of Allah and His Messenger, but fear Allah. Verily, Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing. O ye who believe, raise not your voice above the voice of the Prophet, and speak not aloud to him, and you speak aloud to one another, lest your works become vain while you receive it. Verily, those who lower their voice in the presence of the Messenger of Allah are the ones whose hearts Allah purified for the righteous. For them is forgiveness and a great reward. Those who shout out to thee from without their private apartment, most of them lack understanding. And if they are waiting patiently until thou came out to them, it would be better for them. But Allah is most forgiving, merciful. O ye who believe, if an unrighteous person bring you any news, ascertain the correctness of the report fully. Least you have a person in ignorance, and then become repentant of what you have done. And know that among you is the messenger of Allah. If you were to comply with your wishes in most of the matters, you would surely become to trouble. But Allah has enjoyed the faith to you and has made it look beautiful to your hearts. And He has made disbelief, wickedness, and disobedience hateful to you. Such indeed are those who follow the right course. Through the grace and favor of Allah, and Allah is all-knowing, wise.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much. We continue to appreciate Saudi Grammar School for producing students who are both knowledgeable in Islamic and the Western education. May you continue to increase knowledge, and that appears to the students of Saudi girls who are also here. And I believe Richard School, Asarudini Solo, may God continue to increase all of you in knowledge. May I call on Star Muslim to come and please give us the open prayer. Star Abdulatif Muslim.
For the benefit of all of us, the students from Ansarudin just read chapter 49, Surah Al-Hujurat, verses 1 to 8. So those who are interested can listen. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين
Lecturer is a Major General, so is he. But I think he's an infantryman. He's a retired Major General. He has attained many heights in the Nigerian Army. And he rose to become the Deputy Commandant, Director of Studies at the National Defense College, Abuja. He commanded the Army Headquarters Garrison Abuja and was later General Officer commanding Division 1 Nigerian Army in charge of defense and security of the Northwest and North Central states of Nigeria. That's the highest of the places he occupied before his retirement in 2010. He has since retirement been involved in a private role as a consultant engaged in leadership and talent development, executive coaching, and mentoring and security consultancy. I understand that the chairman of today speaks very good French as a second language and is always listed as reading, listening to music, and working. He is also a member of the prestigious Metropolitan Club, Lagos, and is the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Lagos and a Paul Harris Fellow. He is currently the national president of Ijebu Muslim College, the Ijebu Muslim College Old Students Association. We don't want to take a lot of time reading out what he has achieved, but ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the chairman of today, in the name of Major General Retired Kamarudin Abiodun Roli. Please stand to the table. Allahu Akbar. I had to seek special tutoring in learning how to pronounce the name. Upper God, the surname right hand. Without further ado, may I call on the presidential chairman 1942, Chris Janim, at the Osaka, to give us a welcome address.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me, by way of protocol, recognize the chairman of today, Major General. The CV has been read, highly resourceful. We are very proud to have you. That is the General Roli. You are welcome, sir. To me, once you get to a certain level in civil service, you are never retired. You know, when you get a Major General retired, I don't know, retired to where? They always carry their pistol. I mean, they never retire. You are welcome. That's on the later. May I also recognize my Vice President. You are welcome, sir. A medical practitioner, a man, a woman, well pleased. Honestly, you are well forth for so many periods of my absence, and I thank you very much for that. When you leave a place and you find your house in order, you have everything to thank God. Yeah, what you thank for me, don't worry. We will get there. The rain has given us extra time. May I also recognize our speaker, our own lecturer for today, another Major General. If you like, I'm a full retired on your own because I have never seen your gun, so, and I don't intend to see one. Honestly, it's my pleasure to have you there. And I want to also recognize our ladies, our wives, our mother. You know, it's always pleasing to see you. And may God continue to grant you the wherewithal and good health to continue to participate in our program. Let me also recognize all our ESCO members, particularly starting from the General Secretary, who have worked assiduously to ensure that we have a issue-free event. And I want to also especially recognize all the members of Shooting Stars of the Islam 1942 and all our distinguished guests both here and also those who are participating virtually with us. Our students, you are also welcome, both from all the schools and particularly from the girls' school, I recognize you. And I also recognize those who have recited the Holy Quran for us today. It's a beautiful weather that we have, and this is an annual program of Shooting Stars of Islam, and it gives me the immense pleasure to welcome you all to this particular occasion. For the benefit of those who are attending our event for the first time, Shooting Stars of Islam 1942, as it was by the name, was established way back in 1942 by foremost Muslim scholars and professionals who have achieved greatly in their profession. It was felt that because of the decreasing and an increasing rate of Muslim students, attending tertiary institutions, there was the need to assist them so that we can at least cut off some of the decreasing aspects and encourage Muslim students to bear their names and also to attend tertiary institutions. And most of these people are highly gifted and they are top-notch in their profession. I'm talking about our late Bampanwa in education, late Professor Asoni, and Alaji Disu, and quite a number of other judges and various accountants in that profession. May Allah grant them a general exam, and may Allah grant them peace wherever they are, because they have laid a solid foundation for which those of us that are coming after them are trying to at least ensure that the program they have established will continue. And we would like to take this opportunity to extend to you the fellowship of, for those of you that are qualified to be our members, to please do so. And whatever support, because this is what we are doing is more or less like an NGO, it's self-financing, and it is through the support of people like our guests that are here. Today, we are going to learn from the experience and resources that the nation has provided. And the first question I ask myself, where did we get it wrong, honestly, in our nation? The topic today is about leadership. Leadership and the responsibility of being a leader. Islamic perspective. I know our lecturer will do justice to it. But really, when you look at, I don't know which authority is doing it, as a lawyer, we drive our own authority from one source or the other. And going through my books, I found that the chapter on prophets, Anbiya, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in chapter 21 of the Holy Quran, verse 73, that is one of the authorities where Allah established that leaders are chosen by Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are inspired to follow and establish the wills of Allah. That's simple. And I ask myself, I look at our country, anywhere in the world, you find us excelling. We spend a lot of resources managing our people. And when you go to other countries, you find that some of their leaders in the 70s and the 80s. In Nigeria, and some of what I call developing world, we seem to be clamoring for youth development, youth taking over, and that the elders should go and sleep or stay aside and things like that. I think something went wrong somewhere, someplace. It wasn't the way we were brought in the 60s and the 50s, some of you that are in the 40s also. I know my lecturer will do very justice to it, Major General Ivanjo. I know you will do justice to it. But really, we need to ponder on the matter. Something went wrong somewhere, something. Somebody was telling me the story of Malaysia, and we've all heard about that. And the Malaysian people were also asking the same question. Where did Nigeria got it wrong? All the resources from Nigeria were taken to Malaysia, and we all know what Malaysia is today. Is it about leadership? Is it about we as people? Is it about the fact that we are not following the tenets of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala? May God guide us aright. May God protect our leaders. We have to pray and continue to pray, particularly for this new leadership. There is a urge to wanting to do it right. But that urge, in my view, must follow the right process. And because of doing so, we must not destroy the institution. The institution we have built. And we must also send the right signals, not only to other parties, particularly to international world. I thank you very much, and I welcome you. Thank you. God bless you.
I humbly thank the shooting star of Islam 1942 for the honor of inviting me as the chairman of this annual lecture. When you have a good leader and your mentor or a good leader, there's no doubt you also end up as a good leader. General Dibanjo, right from the high school, has laid the inspirational foundation for some of us. If I can go back a little bit into history, I was in class 2 when he was in upper 6. In other words, when I was in class 1, he was in lower 6. When I was in class 2, he was in upper 6. And he ended up as the senior prefect of the Jehovah's Muslim College of that time. I must be honest with you, some of the traits and personal qualities which he exuded way back has not in any way departed from his personal nature. He is an utterly noble person, highly intelligent. You can't see any air of arrogance about him in spite of his level of achievement. By the time I was leaving secondary school in 1971, I heard he had joined the Nigerian army. And I said to myself, if this extremely intelligent person has joined the Nigerian army, it might there's something good about the Nigerian army. I worked hard. Even though he went after university, I went to the Nigerian Defense Academy. But every time I kept tab on his career. Let me not use him as the topic of my work. All I'm just saying is that when I saw the topic of leadership responsibility, what came to my mind was that most leaders grew correctly. Those that are coming behind them, and they open doors for junior ones through which they can grow. Definitely, they'll end up as good leaders. I don't make pretence about it, that at every turn, I look at him as my mentor. When he became a Major General, I told myself, yes, if he has become one, I pray to the Almighty Allah that I will end up becoming one too. And when I became a Major General, you may have forgotten, I called him and said, I thank the Almighty Allah that my prayer as a young person has been actualized by Allah. I try to tune his mind from leadership. I do not allow material things to declare my sense of responsibility towards my subordinates. And I do not allow the office occupied to doubt the fact that the Almighty Allah placed me there to be able to touch and reach out to others. And I am always very proud to say that in my command of 1 Infantry Division, I produced 2 Chief of Army Staff. The Chief of Army Staff under President Jonathan and the President Chief of Army Staff. Every time I sit there and they say, okay, what do you want from us? I say, I don't need anything from you. My joy is that the Almighty Allah has brought you up so you can also touch the lives of those that come in behind you. I think in brief, this is what leadership responsibilities is all about. And let me also just leave that to my mentor to go into his depth of research so we can all learn from it. I thank you very much.
Thank you. We are indeed very grateful.
The President sitting Star of Islam 1942, Star Prince Saka, his Vice, Star Labinjo, the Chairman of today's occasion, my brother, my professional colleague, my President. He is my President at Clemson College level, so he's my President. Major General, when I asked him to come and share this occasion, he accepted without any major consideration. He said it is okay. And by that time he was on his way to Australia. I said I hope he'll be back by then. Thank God he came back about 2 days ago. Thank you for being with us today. Other distinguished guests, let me in particular also recognize all members of the Shooting Stars who have passed through this stage together. I'm not the first person giving this lecture. I think the first member to do that is our Amir, Star Hussein Isa the ball rolling. One of the founding fathers, late Paddy, some years back, may so continue to rest in peace. Baba said, look, instead of inviting guest lecturers to be delivering these lectures, why don't we tax ourselves? That is, we do it in-house. I've been among our members. So, Stamusa was the one who said the ball rolling. It was followed, I think, by the current Vice President, Labinjo. Then, I think the last one was, okay. Then followed by our current President, Saka. And then the last one was delivered by the Star Agbagi, who happens also to be the chairman of Jabhat Nasrul Islam of Nigeria. So when you have Shooting Stars, there are a number of eminent gentlemen who are in that group. Let me also welcome other distinguished guests, in particular the Chief Imam of the Muslim community, Imam Oyedeji. He was very much interested in this lecture, and he said, look, I'm going to be there with you. Despite the fact that he was ready, he kept that promise and is here with me today. Imam Oyedeji, you're most welcome. Thank you for your support. Also from the Muslim community, we have another brother of mine. I've tried to bring him into the shooting star of Islam. I don't know whether he's in or he's out. His brother Wasil Balogun is a financial technologist. He's also ex-Unilag, so we have another common root besides somebody. So it's one of the two I tried to bring in. So please stand for recognition so that the chairman can, the president can recognize you. So ensure we tell him that today once and for all, so that it doesn't escape again. Our dear wives, our very good supporters who are with our ceremonies, I want to thank you all for being with us today. Other distinguished guests, you are most welcome. Our children, our daughters and sons of Ansarudin Grammar School, Ansarudin Girls School, and others who are around, you are most welcome. We thank God for all of you finding the time to be with us today. Today's lecture, the title is Islam and Leadership Responsibilities. Islam and Leadership Responsibilities. When I mentioned the topic of this lecture to a friend of mine, a brother of mine from another sister, is supposed to be here. He's being held back somewhere. He's always at our program. He said, are you ashamed? I told him, no, I'm not ashamed. So for this occasion, I'm going to be a student shape. So if I quote wrongly, kindly forgive me, because I'm not ashamed. But by the grace of God, I do my best not to quote wrongly. Islam and leadership responsibilities. Introduction. Every successful organization, no matter how large or small, be it in the private or public sector, has a visionary leader. A leader with impeccable character, who commands the respect of the subordinates, through whom the vision is realized. Islam as a religion has laid down what is expected from a Muslim leader, just as it touches every aspect of life. Every step see their election as a trust from the populace, which they should not betray. Having just installed new leaders or re-elected some of them, the topic of this lecture is quite timely and appropriate to serve as a reminder to the leaders. It could serve as a clarion call for them to appreciate the gravity of the responsibilities of their new offices. The subject of the lecture will be treated by bringing out the major aspects of the religion of Islam, the liberal ways we call a Muslim. Leadership will then be discussed to unfold what it means to be a leader. The Muslim leader on whom we are placing so much responsibility is then examined. The tasks that will enable a leader to provide good governance are then discussed. The role of the citizens in ensuring good governance will thereafter be discussed. The aim of this presentation is to attempt to highlight the responsibilities of the Muslim leader. To attempt to highlight the responsibilities of the Muslim leader. The concept of Islam. Islam is the total submission to the will of Allah with Tawheed, that is monotheism, without associating partner with him, that is without a shirk. This is quoted from Questions and Answers on Islam, Greek. Tawheed, that is Islamic monotheism, has three aspects. The first one is the oneness of the worship of Allah. This is called Tawheed Rububiyyah, to believe that there is only one Lord for all the universe, who is the creator, the organizer, the planner, the sustainer, and the giver of security and so on, and that is Allah. The second aspect of Tawheed is oneness of the worship of Allah, Tawheed and Uluhiyyah. That is, to believe that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. While the third aspect of Tawheed is oneness of the names and qualities of Allah, Tawheed and Asma wa Sifat. To believe that we must not name or qualify Allah except with that He or His Messenger has named or qualified Him. To believe that none can be named or qualified with the names and qualifications of Allah. For example, you cannot say Al-Karim. We say Abdul Karim. The third in the qualities of Allah is we must believe in all the qualities of Allah, which Allah has stated in His book or mentioned through His messenger, without changing their meaning or ignoring them completely. The above points on Tawheed are further portrayed in the Holy Quran, chapter 31, verse 22, where Allah says, "And whosoever submits to his faith, to Allah, while he is a Muslim, that is, good doer, that is, perform good deeds totally for Allah's sake, without a show or gain praise or fame, and does them in accordance with the Sunnah of Allah's Messenger, then he has grasped the most trustworthy handhold, and to Allah return all matters for decision." This is Quran, verse 31, chapter 31, verse 22. In accordance with the Holy Prophet's answer to a question from the brave when he was asked about Islam, the Holy Prophet said, and I quote again, "Islam, according to the Holy Prophet, is to testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. You then establish Salah regularly, pay zakat, fast the month of Ramadan, and perform the pilgrimage to the house of Allah, that is Makkah, if you have the means to do so." Al-Bukhari and Muslim, those are the sources of in the Hadith. That's the definition of Islam according to our Holy Prophet. According to Islamic scholars, there are three levels in Islam. The first level is practicing the pillars as stated earlier. The second level is Iman, that is belief or faith in the 6 fundamental articles. These articles are believe in Allah, believe in the angels, believe in His books, believe in His messenger, believe in the last day, and believe in faith, that is Al-Qaeda, both in His good and His evil aspects, that it comes from Allah. The third level of Islam is Ihsan, righteousness, that is worshiping Allah as if we are seeing Him, and we cannot see Him, that He is seeing us. Islam did not start with the Holy Prophet in the 7th century. Technically, Islam is a message that was delivered by all the prophets of God, from Adam to Muhammad. Islam is neither named after a person or tribe, nor does it end with an Islam. That is, Judaism, Buddhism, there is no Islamism. Though each prophet had a relatively different law, the essence of the message of Islam was always the same. And what is that message? Have faith in one God and do good. Islam is not only a religion, but a comprehensive way of life. In Quran chapter 6, verse 38, Allah says, and I quote, "There is not a moving or living creature on earth, nor a bird that flies with its two wings, but are communities like you. We have neglected nothing in the book," that is in the Holy Quran. "Then unto thy Lord they all shall be gathered." That is to show that Islam is a comprehensive way of life. That chapter progresses that point. Having tried to explain Islam, the religion we all hold so dearly, let's now look at leadership. There are many definitions of leadership, and I will look at two of them. In one of them, leadership is seen as the ability to motivate, to influence, and to enable individuals to contribute to the objectives of organizations of which they are members. Another definition of leadership I want to present is leadership is a set of behaviors used to help align their collective direction, to exercise strategic plans, and to consider the needs of an organization. Often define leadership from two different sources. What are the types of leadership? There are four common types: autocratic leadership, democratic leadership, laissez-faire leadership, and paternalistic leadership. Briefly, what are these four? Autocratic leadership is a management style wherein one person controls all decisions and takes very little input from other group members. Autocratic leaders make choices or decisions based on their own beliefs and do not involve others for their suggestions or advice. Democratic leadership is a leadership style in which group members take a more participative role in the decision-making process. Employees must meet to discuss and resolve issues by giving everyone some opportunity to contribute to decisions. I hope our Islamic leaders will use this. Laissez-faire leadership derived from the French word, which means letting people do as they should. Followers are allowed to have autonomy to make their own decisions. The last is paternalistic leadership, which is a management style where a leader considers his subordinates part of a large extended family. Having discussed these types of leadership, let's now look at leadership principles. That is, those elements you expect a leader to consider while leading. Leadership principles are a set of actions that leaders can implement to achieve success in their roles. Some of the generally accepted ones are discussed. The first one is lead by example. Leading by example implies showing excellent behavior, which motivates and encourages people. The followers adjust their behavior when they see that of the leader. Next one is leadership is about people. Leaders have to communicate with and engage followers. Leaders must deploy great interpersonal skills to influence their subjects. A leader exists because there is a group to be led. Focus on things. That's another principle of the leadership. Transformation has to be part of the leadership plan. People need to know the goals and objectives. They will then learn their roles and be willing to fit into it. The leader must admit mistakes. A leader is respected when he takes responsibility for his mistakes. Such mistakes naturally serve as lessons for improved push-up performance. You must understand the value of listening. Leaders should be good listeners, as some of the points they pick up can be very beneficial for their performance. The leader must develop his skills. A good leader must understand the skills required for good performance and develop them. He must identify his strengths and weaknesses and apply them with appropriate leadership style. The leader must promote diversity. There is strength in diversity, and the leader must promote it and take advantage of it to arrive at different viable actions. They must work together to achieve more. The leader must appreciate the importance of collaboration, sharing information, strategies, and successes. Since the leader is not going to invent the wheel, collaboration and cooperation allow him to learn from the mistakes of others. He must have solid values. The leader must have a clear vision and solid values to enable him to inspire his followers and motivate them. He must also understand the values and needs of the followers. He must use technology and innovation. The leader must take advantage of the benefits technology offers as a means of innovation. The leader should himself be up to date in technological changes. Help to develop future leaders. A great leader should make sure he develops his successors. There must be a succession plan. It is often said that the future belongs to the youth. Hence, youth to develop it. Courage. The leader needs to be courageous, since quite often he must take hard decisions. He must make sound and timely decisions. Decision making is a key function of a leader. Decisions have to be based on sound and logical reasoning. It must be timely, since a stitch in time saves none. Team selection. The leader needs a good team, good technocrats. He must place a round peg in a round hole. Goal. He must set achievable goal that is subject to regular control. Often analyze Islam of what is expected of us as a Muslim. I've also spoken about leadership, what leadership entails. We are trying to start a Muslim leader. Let's now look at a typical Muslim leader, next as a person. With a clear concept of the religion of Islam and what leadership entails, the Muslim leader will now be examined. A Muslim aspiring for leadership, a Muslim aspiring for leadership position should have some distinct personal qualities. Some of them are discussed thereafter. 1. Taqwa. Taqwa essentially means awareness of God or piety, but also translated as fear of God. The fear of God will no doubt influence his decision making. Patience. He needs to exercise patience and always listen to all shades of opinion. He must exercise restraint in taking difficult decisions. Dependence on Allah. His faith must be strong and he must put God first in all his actions. Knowledge and wisdom. He must keep learning, bearing in mind that knowledge is power. He needs to know something about everything. He must then pray for the wisdom of Sulaiman. The spirit of sacrifice. He must not sacrifice his self-interest for the common good. His team members and followers will naturally follow suit. honoring the pledge. He must be a man of his word. The resultant effect of this is loyalty from subordinates and followers. Excellence. He must be a model, first among equals. The resultant effect of this is loyalty from subordinates and followers. According to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Muslims must appoint a leader during a trip, select a leader to lead the prayer, and choose a leader for other activities. Leadership selection in Islam is normally by consensus. However, a Muslim can lobby or nominate himself for a leadership position if he sees himself being well equipped for that position. Scholars cite Prophet Isa alayhi salam, who nominated himself to take care of the resources of Egypt. So, don't blame our current president when he said he will not come. He must have examined himself and discovered that he has what it takes to be our leader. So it's been justified by the scholars. Such a Muslim aspiring for leadership should then pray for Allah's permission, Allah's assistance and guidance to achieve the objectives. A Muslim who lacks leadership qualities should not put himself forward. The Holy Prophet ﷺ in his days advised some of his companions that leadership is cohesion and nadama, that is, disgrace and regret on the day of judgment, when one is called to account. So we are warned, don't aspire for leadership when you don't have what it takes. We have examined Islam. We have discussed leadership. We have looked at a potential Muslim leader, what we expect from him, what qualities he has. The topic of this lecture is Islam and leadership responsibility. The topic of lecture is leadership and Islam and leadership responsibilities. Let us now look at those responsibilities of that Muslim leader, that is leadership task. Let's the things we want him to do. When a Muslim who imbibes all the attributes of a good Muslim, equipped with the principles of effective leadership, is saddled with political leadership, what should be the expectation? Our main expectation should be good governance. Good governance is defined as the process of measuring how public institutions conduct public affairs and manage public resources and guarantee the realization of human rights in a manner essentially free of abuse and corruption, in a manner essentially free of abuse and corruption, and with due regard for the rule of law. Good governance ensures economic growth, political stability, and security. Unfortunately, when we look at good governance, we look at the world, the UNO gives us the report that when we talk about good governance, the countries that take the lead are not Muslim countries. Even Saudi Arabia is far from the ladder of good governance. You have the Scandinavian countries, Finland, Iceland, Sweden, and so on, where important have Muslims. So we possibly need to re-examine ourselves, what our Muslim leaders are doing. Back home, with our myriad of national problems, what tasks are we then put on our Muslim political leaders to aid them in possibly turning the country around? Some tasks are listed below, that is the responsibilities for the Muslim leaders. The first one is security. They should protect the lives and properties of every individual through adequate security measures to drive away both internal and external enemies. In doing this, Intelligence networks must be fully utilized to preempt unwarranted attacks. Dialogues should also be explored to the fullest so that the use of force will be minimal. I'm sure if we do this, all the problems we have in the country will be reduced. Both Boko Haram, IPOB, the Northwest bandits and so on, with proper negotiations, dialogue and so on, I think we will save on the expenditure on the military and the allied forces. Next one is participatory administration. We must ensure political appointments are inclusive of different interest groups to give a sense of belonging to all and thus enabling national cohesion. That is, a part of the country must not be neglected. Next is adequate welfare programs. The leader must come up with programs that will make the life more meaningful to the people through cheap basic food items, if need be, food items will be subsidized, cheap clothing, affordable housing, and cheap mass transportation system. Next is special youth programs. We must draw programs that provide access to quality education for the youth, as well as gainful employment, and as well as gainful employment opportunities. Skill employment will need to be properly married into various levels of education, so that most of them will not be in school and be seeking for white-collar jobs. Next is rule of law. The Muslim leader must ensure the laws of the land are enforced without fear or favor, with due respect for human rights. The government on its part must be willing to obey court rulings. That has been a problem with most of our own governments here. So, without certain examples, I'm sure we all know what the government does with court rulings. The next is appropriate appointments. He must place people of appropriate knowledge and experience in various positions for national benefit. Transparency. He must ensure transparency in actions to generate trust. The government must be prepared for public scrutiny. The Freedom of Information Act must always be respected and complied with. Consensus-oriented. Decision-making is better through consensus, not the majority, nor the elite or the minority. Responsive. The government must react to the cry of the governed. Since the government exists at behest of the populace, it behoves the government to see the populace as its primary constituency. The Holy Prophet warned that beware of the supplication of the oppressed, even if he is an unbeliever. For there is no screen between it and Allah. That is, when the oppressed cries to Almighty God, God hears the prayer. So our leaders should be aware of this in their actions. Next is effective communication. The government must regularly inform the people of its policies and programs and not give room for rumor mongering. Last but not the least is there should be regular review of its actions. The government must regularly review its actions with a view to amending them where necessary. We call this control. In engineering, we talk about feedback. When the process is not going right, whether it's too high or too low, you do a feedback, you put in a system to normalize it. So the other ones, not one can still become young engineers, but the younger ones. So there must be control. Muslim brothers and sisters, we have looked at Islam, we have looked at leadership, we have looked at the Muslim leader, and then we have sensitized our Muslim leaders. Now, we need to look at the role of the citizens in good governance. Our own roles now as citizens, what are we supposed to do? Allah says, and I quote, "O ye who believe, obey Allah and obey the messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and those of you Muslims who are in authority." Allah says you must obey those who are in authority. And if you differ on anything amongst yourselves, refer it to Allah and His messenger. If you believe in Allah and in the last day, and that is better and more suitable for final determination. That is Quran chapter 4 verse 59, where Allah beholds us to believe in the authority of our leaders. Drawing from the above surah of the Quran, the citizens have important parts to play, and I list a few of them. The first one is obey and respect the laws at various levels of governance. So, those of us counselors, we should not drive against the public. When we do that, we are not helping the government. Respect the rights, beliefs, and opinions of others. When we talk about this, we must respect the other religions, because this country has so many religions, and we must respect the views of others. The next is, we must take part in community development activities. We must not just leave them to be doing it, we must be part of it. We must take part of it. We must take charge of what is in our community. The next thing is, we must pay taxes as due and when due as good citizens. Of course, we all know that's a major source of revenue for the government. And if for any reason the government overtaxes us, we cannot always go to the tax consultants. Due apology to my brother, Stakoni. He would advise us accordingly. We must be involved in certain achievable agenda for the government. We should not leave the government alone. We let the government know what we need, what our needs are, prior to the government. And I'm sure they will listen, because we have put them there. We must engage in constructive criticism of government actions that are not in the best interest of the populace. Our criticisms must not be destructive. It must be constructive, so that they can learn from it and improve on what we are doing. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, in the last 20 minutes, an attempt has been made in the presentation to give a clear understanding of the religion of Islam and thus the believer in Muslim. Leadership was also examined to show who a Muslim leader should be. Political leadership was narrated to be based on the provision of good governance. The tasks before a Muslim political leader were then analyzed. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide our leaders aright, make the followers good citizens, so that our country could take its rightful place in the community of nations. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. On this note, I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you and God bless.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Alaji Mikai. Initially, I didn't want to ask questions because I know that the military is a very vast order. You don't challenge your seniors. But I know that our people presenter today is a magnanimous person. I will not want to charge him. for asking this question. In Nigeria here, we are fortunate that most of our leaders, as we see them, are Muslim. And I don't know why it's difficult, considering the attributes of a good leader and the attributes of a Muslim that you have mentioned. Why is it difficult for them to apply these attributes to the ruling of this country? Why have we found ourselves in this situation? Sometimes, like you mentioned, they don't obey rules, court orders, and all the rest. And we see them as a Muslim because they observe Salat. We see them represent themselves as Muslims. But we notice that most of the things that they do comply with Islam. So why is it difficult for them to ensure that they apply Islamic rules in whatever they do? Thank you, sir.
I appreciate the senior prefect for a seminar paper. We're really grateful for what you have done. I also want us to appreciate post-mortem our leader, one of our founding fathers, the Imam David, who provoked this type of exercise. Because in doing so, we are forced as Muslims who have, alhamdulillah, been successful one way or the other in our endeavors. We are forced to learn, we are forced to research, and also enrich us. I'm sure that if my brother had not been asked to deliver this lecture, he probably wouldn't have done the research he did, and that way we enrich ourselves. May Allah let the blessing of it meet with Halaji, Imam Idris to Sadaqatu Jariyah. And my president mentioned something, and then the last contributor also mentioned it about where did we go wrong. And he added more by saying that the Muslims have been in charge of this country, perhaps more than the Christians. So how come we are where we are? Certain things have probably wrong. And one of the things that I think we haven't gotten right, and it has a role to play in the insecurity, which is very fundamental to development, is that we have not been big on justice, equity, and fairness. Quran chapter 4, verse 135. I want to just quote this. O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents and relatives. I want to stop there. That's what Allah says. It's not what I said. And I think, we all witnessed the immediate past administration. When the Boko Haram incident started, when the issue of people being attacked on their farm started, when certain things were happening, it was treated with kid gloves. That was not justice. The president was a Muslim. We know what Islam says. That is led on, and then having an agitation for Yoruba nation. You begin to have insecurity. If you look at the IPOB, all these other things too, much as you might disagree with them, there is fundamental injustice one way or the other. What we have done is winner takes all. If I am the Christian and president, I exclude Muslims. If I am a Yoruba and this, I exclude this. My people can't do no wrong. And we have done that. And it's not getting us anywhere. If we talk about insecurity. If you are fair, like some people say, they say, it was Shedede Kofidadale. Don't give me anything, but be fair and just. When you do that, people are happy. It's easier to deal with conflict. But when you are protecting my brother, is my brother, I won't say it's right. Islam does not say we should protect our brothers when they are doing wrong. So I think I want to know the take of the speaker, because he has done research on this topic, and that happens. But I just observed that from the presentation that one of the things that are very difficult for us is the issue of justice, equity, and fairness. In this country, we have not done that. And I'm not excusing Christians or Muslims. We Muslims must be the benchmark, the flagship, do the best. People will see us and they'll be able to say, he's a Muslim. That is what Islam is all about. We have not seen that. I'm sorry.
Moni, he said, your brother doctor, that the correct one is your son doctor. That would be more appropriate. Assalamu alaikum. I have been asked by Star to express that in the role of the citizens in good governance, the F aspect, engaging constructive criticisms of government actions that are not in the best interest of the populace. He wanted it to remove not, but I think it's correct. Now, I think I will start, I'll just add a few things to what Dr. Labib said. There's a huge difference between a Muslim leader and an Islamic leader. They draw their powers from different sources. When the power of leadership is drawn from autocracy, it is utilized differently from when it's drawn from shura, and it is also utilized differently from when it's drawn from democracy. So the powers are different. So the system of governance will be different. In Islam, Muslims are encouraged to run away from leadership. And the reason is very simple. The simplest leader you can be is to be the head of a family. So if by act of omission or commission, your children don't pray, so you're going to take part of that punishment, whether you are at home or you are at work. It is assumed or concluded that either you have not performed your function at all or you have not performed it correctly. So in Islam, you are enjoined to run away from leadership. If you are the leader in Salat and your wudu snaps, now if anything goes wrong with the Salat of your followers, you are going to take the bulk of that responsibility, while those that are your congregation are absolved of that responsibility. So it's a huge responsibility. So you can imagine if you are the president of Nigeria, so 200 million people, and 170 of them go to bed without eating. And I will ask you, what did you do to ensure that they ate, or that they had shelter, or that they had security before they slept? So leadership in Islam, you are discouraged as a Muslim to strive for the post of leadership, and that must be emphasized. In your presentation, sir, there are a few things I thought that needed clarification. The word diversity in today's terminology means different things. So if you say we should promote diversity, it will be very kind of you, sir, general, for you to explain what diversity is. I think you be kind of people are on Zoom so that they know what diversity the shooting stars are talking about. Then in your leadership tasks, you said participatory administration. That is the B. That contradicts appropriate appointments. Because if you say that every interest group should participate, what if appropriate appointment can only come from one interest group? Where do you stand as a leader? Then the concept of consensus in Islam is different. Islam does not place the opinion of an intelligent person as the same opinion of somebody who is less intelligent. That is why Islam does not advocate democracy. I mean, if you enter the surgery, Islam gives the surgeon 100 votes, and he gives the man on the street 0 votes, because Islam does not put put him at the same knowledge of that, at that information. So where leadership is concerned, Islam expects that it is the intelligent people of knowledge of leadership, knowledge of the group, that are allowed to sit down and decide who a leader is. Not somebody who sits down and watches Premier League and then takes alcohol. He does not understand the responsibility of leadership. And he will say that because there are 10 of them and there's only one person like Alaji Abaji. So those 10, their votes will now supersede that. So where Islam is concerned, those terms are completely different. So where Islamic leadership, when we talk about Islamic leadership, we should clear that. Then you talked about the interest of the populace. The concept of the interest of the populace. I will use the recent decision by the president of the country to withdraw subsidy. Now, I would ask the speaker whether that decision was a correct decision. Because you now look at the interest of the populace. What the populace perceive is their own interest versus what the leadership thinks it is very good. Now, I will also fault you, sir. This one I'm taking you as a military officer. Transparency. In the military, the term transparency, when we are going, I'm not a military man, I'm saying, when military men, from what we understand, are going into battle, transparency at the level of general is not the same as transparency at the level. The generals hold the strategy and it's close to their heart until we get to battle. It's the same with leadership. It is not everything the leader knows that the followers should know. Because we are operating at different levels of intelligence in the society. Therefore, because I am not a leader, that is why I'm asking all these questions.
That was Dr. Ali, the Chief Medical Director of Ibu Hospital. And he's a leader, so he knows what he's talking about. I don't know whether the lecturer wants to respond or whether to go on the other comments. Do you want to take, or maybe just have a rounding up? We take all the comments together, sir. Okay, sir.
Although he has orthopedic hospital, but the person is not the leader. I don't know what national leadership is looking for there. Well, the first question was, this country over the years has had Muslims at the end of affairs. That's why haven't we made progress? Where are we where we are? Where did we get it wrong? My brothers, that video assisted us in answering that question. Well, he said we have not been just. Justice has eluded us. And we have not been equitable. You know, look at IPOB. What are they? What's their struggle about? It's about equity. I'm not a supporter of IPOB. I don't believe in its integration. I believe there are some other ways they could approach their struggles. But I'm sure if we have a leader who sits down with the Igbos and ask them what are the problems, you know, I think we can do away with all these struggles. I believe we have not had enough consultation and so on with the people, with the government. And like Stalin said, there is a big difference, he said, and I quite agree with you, between a Muslim leader in a country like Nigeria, which is secular. You cannot rule Nigeria through Islamic rules, because our laws don't necessarily follow the Islamic. We are not following Islamic laws. We are following our own constitution. which is democratic. So, a Muslim who finds himself now as Bishop of leadership in Nigeria, he has to remember continuously that he's a Muslim. Remember the tenets of his religion. What does my religion expect from me? And I'm sure despite the fact that we're a secular country, you know, if you have to live with some Christians, they will tell you, if a Muslim is older, the Muslim will pay. The Muslim is not willing to add his own to your own because he believes on judgment, he's going to pay that debt. So it's better for him to pay right here now rather than carry it on to the judgment. So Christians, most of them believe that doing business with Muslims is better than having with due apology to our Christian sisters and brothers. They believe that doing business with Muslims is better for them than with their Christian colleagues. And this is because such Muslims imbibe the tenets of the religion. So I believe Muslim leaders who have found themselves at the time of affairs in the country have not fully imbibed the tenets of the religion. You know, they have not led by example. You know, if you are talking about being good listeners, and our immediate past president, I mean, the man, if fire is burning in Sokoto, as far as he's concerned, and he's in Abuja, he will feel so much of concern, you know, because the man is supposed to advise him, you don't even have access to him. How can you be a leader and you are not accessible? You have to be accessible. It's only then you can take action and timely actions too. You know, so I believe strongly that it's because our Muslim leaders, even though it's not an Islamic country, have not fully followed the tenets of our religion while ruling this country. And thank God we have a Muslim there now. And I hope our Muslim clerics will continue drawing him to toe the line of Islam. You know, keep reminding him of what is expected of being as a Muslim. That was why in that paper I tried to look at a Muslim leader. Not necessarily a Muslim leader in an Islamic country. I'm looking at a Muslim who finds himself in a sort of leadership. What do we expect from him? Be it in an Islamic country, be it in a country like ours, where we are multilingual, multi-religious, and so on. You know, but it should be a shining example. You know, Alibi said I should explain that we should promote diversity. When there is divergent opinions on issues, I mean, you know, for example, when this one was going to develop the Naira many years ago, there were a lot of debates, national debate and so on. That is diverse opinion. Some people believe we should not go that way. Some others believe we should go that way. At the end of the day, we have to take a decision. And maybe we should do your own decision. God save us. I mean, Allah knows best. So we decided to devalue the Naira. And from that day, we keep devaluing this, whether deliberately or the thing keeps falling. So, at least we should debate important decisions. Well, like you also asked, the petroleum subsidy, which the current president has removed, whether it's in the interest of the public interest. Well, we have the National Assembly. The National Assembly, they sat there, they are our representative, and they sat down and decided we should stop petroleum subsidy. They are our reps, they took that decision. In the recess, that decision is sought by this present president. He was just implementing a decision already taken before he got there. You know, but it was a hard task for him to implement. But our reps said we should stop petroleum subsidy. And we did correct, they are our representatives, we elected them, and they placed it on us, and the man got there and said, okay, from today, I'm stopping petroleum subsidy. Well, the only reason maybe our quarrel, most people quarrel about the way we went about it, is he personally did not tell us what are the things to cushion the effects of removing the subsidy. Maybe we are starting with that, like Jonathan was trying to do in 2012. Jonathan started by putting committees in place to look at the effects of subsidy removal, to you look at the ways to pushing those effects and so on, they went ahead with a lot of publicity across the country on that action. Unfortunately, that was a critical decision. Politicians being who they are, they don't allow to materialize. And here we are, 11 years after. We are now taking that decision. Well, maybe this is what is the best for us. Allah knows best. So, participatory administration, when I say participatory, what you have said in Islam, you don't look down at the man without knowledge. Why in the other world too, I mean, democracy, I mean, even the man who has knowledge, you don't have a say. You know, because in every area there are supposed to be leaders. It's the leaders there who will speak up on behalf of their subordinates. You know, there are leaders at various levels. I mean, if you go to a home now, you want to hear the opinion of subsidy. You don't go to the youngest man in the house. He's the leader of the house. And the opinion that leader gives you, you take it and you move on. So that is the leader. So that participatory thing is, there are spokesmen, there are leaders across board who would come with their opinion and so on. Transparency, you are talking about the military. And yes. Well, thank God the chairman will help me out with that. He was the general officer commanding, and he had so many brigades under him, about, well, 3 fighting brigades, and artillery brigade, and engineer brigade, besides the fighting brigade, those are supporting arms, and of course they have the services. So he had a large, if he wanted to go to battle when he was in service, you can imagine how many tanks go ahead before he goes to battle. So that's the last command. So he will educate us on transparency. So let me ask about for him to bail me out.
Thank you, sir. Let me humbly correct an impression that when generals are going to battle, they hold a strategy of victory to themselves. In military operations, there are 3 levels: strategic, operational, and tactical. At the strategic level, the president, all the other services are in the know what the objectives are, and they are going to work harmoniously to achieve the strategic objective. At the operational level, that's where the General Officer Commanding and his lower commanders who are going into battle, they have to sit plan and decide on the course of action. In deciding the course of action, they have to break it down into tactical operations. And before they go out there, the private soldier in the lowest form of battle group must know exactly what the General Officer Commanding wants to achieve, the objective. So, if the General Officer Commanding is not transparent in his plans, the likelihood is that the lower commanders will go around them. And then everybody will go this way or that way. It was just to correct that impression. It wasn't anything to do with... Thank you, sir.
Acknowledge the beautiful presentation by Star Adebanjo. And I should just like to add, because most of us Nigerians have been wondering where did we get it wrong. And I think by way of psychological education, we should try to understand that before anybody assumes leadership, personality has been formed. And personality is a product of nature and nurture. These are dynamics that include parenting, education, socialization, etc., etc., until we are able to detach ourselves and become conscious of the fact that Oladoyibo to Somodoyibo, and the fact that Omo Aliagole Otidaga. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum wa rahmatullahi. I'm Said Adimakiwa. I thank the organizers of this public lecture and our father, General Ibando, for the technically prepared and effectively delivered lecture. My question borders on our responsibility as followers. My question borders on our responsibility as followers in our peculiar circumstances. In the performance of the obligations as trustee of our Commonwealth, our leaders, they have a very huge responsibility of being our trustee. But as followers, and given our circumstances, we also have the responsibility of being here, and at the same time, taking them into account on their actions and inactions. How do we balance how do we maintain the delicate balance between our two responsibilities as followers, given the circumstances we find ourselves, and the part of our Muslims?
I don't know who it's from. It says, thank you, but I think that our lecturer should not forget that this key stakeholder in our discussions. I don't know what the second one says, Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah, to have joined you in this lecture this morning. I commend the lecturer, Star General, for his lecture. My own take is that whether you are Muslim or Christian, the most important thing required as a leader is taqwa. Taqwa first. Most of our leaders in the past do not have the fear of God, hence they do not lead us well. Once you have the fear of God, you will lead well. We have another comment. It's an interesting discussion. Dr. Sulaiman Adigu Muslim. We thank everybody that has been on Zoom. Several people, I think we had about 64 at one time. We thank you all. I think we are rounding up now on this usually held on Easter Sunday, on the day designated as Easter Sunday every year. This year, Easter Sunday fell in Ramadan, hence we shifted to this day. So inshallah, the next year, the lecture should be held on Easter Sunday, if it doesn't fall within Ramadan. And I think the lecturer has been chosen for that day. God help us. We are about to round up. I'll call on the General Secretary to come and please give vote of thanks to the audience.
Thank you very much. It's been an interesting day, and in spite of the rain, we had these members coming in. I sincerely want to thank everybody. I want to start with the chairman for making time out to join us today. The lecturer, we all know he's a general, and generals are always ever ready. So in spite of the rain, his papers were ready, and he was here on time for it. I sincerely want to thank you, sir. The President and the Vice President, those are two working class. When you see them work together, you get results. And they have a very nice way of pushing the like of us to jump onto the road and start working. I sincerely want to thank you very much for this. The audience, today has been a very wonderful day. And I do not want to go one by one, because if I do, I'll take all the time. And a lot of times it may be short thinking. So I could have just said thank you, I went back to my seat. I sincerely want to recognize somebody here too. It's my auntie, the wife of the lecturer. You know, there is that backing, and she came fully backing with the husband. Every other person thinks, I don't want to go into this, and I want to say thank you to them. My thank you will not end if I do not show gratitude to the students who joined us this year. Can you please just stand up all together so people can see you, and let's give them a round of applause. All the students. Thank you. Please sit down. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother General Secretary. Every good thing must come to an end. May I call on Star Dr. Alimi to please lead us into the prayers for the students.
People gather together, and what they are doing there is to remember the words of Allah and then words of religion. The angels gather and start doing dua for them. May Allah accept the dua that the angels have gathered and have done for us. The Prophet of Allah has also said that part of the period when prayers are most accepted are those times when Allah opens the sky to drop these showers of blessing. May Allah shower us with blessing, accept our dua, the ones we remember to do, the ones we have done, and the ones we are afraid of doing because we know where our iniquities are. May Allah accept it from us. Let's express that we have members of this organization who have passed on. May Allah forgive them. Make their graves a place of coolness and brightness for them. Grant them shade on the day of judgment. There will be no shade except the shade of Allah. And grant them Al-Jannah Firdaus. May Allah forgive our parents. May Allah grant succor to Muslims who are in distress wherever they are. Then for our elders in the organization, may Allah accept their dua. May Allah continue to protect you, both where you think you can protect yourself and where you have no capacity to protect yourself. May Allah make your children blessings to you and coolness of your eyes, such that whenever you remember them, you will be smiling without knowing what it is. For our lecturer, may Allah increase you in knowledge. Since Allah has granted you the ni'mah to give us lecture on leadership, may Allah continue to strengthen you as a leader. For those who Allah has placed the mantle of leadership on, both in this gathering and outside that are Muslims, may Allah forgive them. Make it easy for them. Guide them to make the best of decisions. One of my teachers once said that, how can you curse your driver and you are humiliating? If he drives you into the lagoon, you are in trouble. So wherever your driver is, even when it's your first enemy, you pray for him. That Allah guides you. Because to ba lari e mogi, to ba bo sínú ọ̀sà, ẹjọ́ máa wọ níbi tó bá ní so a máa bẹ lọ́wọ́ fún ọ̀nà tí ó rọrùn fún ọ. Bóyá a fẹ́ràn ọmọ, bóyá a fẹ́ràn inú ọkọ̀ yìí bá wà. Àwọn dẹ̀ náà wà kọ́nà jẹ́ kó wà wá dé èbúté òkú. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا والذين سبقونا بالإيمان. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. Before we do Fatiha,
Let's do Salat al-Nabi. All of us that are gathered here is because the Prophet showed us the way. That is why we are here. So let's do Salat al-Nabi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. Al-Fatiha.
Ó tóbi gan òní gan o, ó tóbi gan òní gan, ó gbàyè gan, ó tún fẹ́ gan, ẹgbẹ̀rún ahọ́n ó tó kí ẹ ò la ilaha illallah. Ọlọ́run mi dákun ọlọ́lá gbàdúrà mi, má jẹ́ ó pẹ́ mọ́ kí n má bẹ láyé bí aláyé síbi la ilaha illallah.
Bisimilahi Allah, Kamoni Rahim Adékúnlé o, Kíbla. Ẹni lè fẹ́ ni ayé lópin o, ẹni táyé ń fowó. Ẹni lè sọ kí tó ti wáwé, kí tó tún máa rúwé. Ọba sọmọ ládẹrú, látúfẹ́rú sípò ọlá. Àjírònú kan fọmọ aráyé, ìwọ mo tẹ́wọ́ mi sí. Ẹjẹ́ àṣàṣì ọkọjá ìyẹn, ẹ̀bẹ̀ nìkan ló kápá ọlọ́lá. Ìròrí mi sọ pé ó pé. Kíbla. Ìròrí mi sọ pé ó pé látara ń tọ́pẹ́ tó dá. Ọba tí ò dárí ẹ̀sìnlẹ̀ mádé ó kàǹkà ó kọjá dé. Ọba ayé ń ṣokùn ọdún ọ̀ntrán tó ti dé pọ̀ ọ̀la. Tó bá tiẹ̀ ló fẹ́ ṣe yẹn o. Ìlà yìí. Tó bá tiẹ̀ ló fẹ́ ṣe yẹn, ọdún mélòó ló máa kéde náà o. Agbẹ́lóye tó kọjá ọdún o. Agbẹ́lóye tó kọjá ọdún. La ilaha illallah.
Ọlọ́run mi dákun ọlọ́lá gbàdúrà mi, má jẹ́ ó pẹ́ mọ́ kí n má bẹ láyé bí aláyé síbi la ilaha illallah.
Bọ́mọ ẹ̀dá bàtà kú o. Bọ́mọ ẹ̀dá bàtà kú, báwọn ò lè bá mi ṣe, èmi mẹ́nìkan tó lè ṣe. Àṣeyè ló máa ṣe, ṣẹ́túrọ̀nà tá a tún fi ṣe. Allah, ṣẹ́túrọ̀nà tá a tún fi ṣe, kò lè yẹ nìkan bá ṣe ṣe. Ẹ má béèrè